Hey there, I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, where we try to help gamers find great games to play with non-gamers.
And today we're taking a look at I'm Right, You're Wrong by Jab Publishing, who is kind enough to also give us a copy of their game and sponsor today's video.
And I'm Right, You're Wrong, which, who hasn't ever said that before? Players are going to be having an argument, which I know doesn't sound too much fun, but in this game you are going to be playing zany, off-the-wall cards, playing out this argument amongst all the players, trying to have the last word. Let's go ahead and take a look at it on the table. I'll explain how this game works, and then we'll come back and share our thoughts on this one. I'm right, you're wrong. You ever said that before? Well, you are definitely going to in this game. Now, this is a game in which players are going to be having an argument, playing cards back and forth, trying to be the person who gets the last word. Let me make sure to tell you that everything you see here is prototype. The artwork, components, maybe even some of the rules may be different when the final product is released. With that in mind, let me go ahead and show you this game. I have two different sets of cards here, two different decks. This is the deck that I'm going to be showing you here in this video, but the cards in the final product are supposed to look more of this composite here. You can see there is a little bit of a finish on these cards, and they are a little bit thicker and sturdier than the cards that I will be showing you here in this video. So with that in mind, let me explain how this game works. Everyone is going to be dealt 5 cards, and it's very simple. On the beginning of your turn, you draw a card, and then you play a card. And that's it. That's all you do on your turn. If you forget to draw a card, oh well, too bad. Your cards are your lifeline. They are your way to stay in the game because, as I've mentioned, you're having an argument with the other players, and your cards are your arguments or your counterpoints or your topics or whatever you want to call it, but it's your way to stay in the argument. You run out of cards, you are out. So let's go over what some of those cards might be. You're going to have 3 basic types of cards. You're going to have your red cards, your green cards, and your yellow cards. Let's start with green. Your green cards are going to do something good for you or something bad for your opponents generally. As you can see, I'm being accountable. Yeah, my bad. And when you play this card, you pick an opponent and they are going to return 1 card from their hand to the bottom of the deck. And again, your cards in your hand are your lifeline, so that is bad for your opponents. Your red cards are going to be things that generally don't serve you very well, such as being annoying in the middle of an argument. I know you are, but what am I? That kind of thing. And what this card particularly does is it keeps you, you're the self here, keeps you from being able to play green cards on your next turn. I mentioned that when you run out of cards, you are eliminated from the game, but another way that you can lose is if you catch yourself in a bind where you can't do anything or you're forced to break the rules. So for instance, if I only had green cards in my hand and I had this card played on my previous turn, then I am stuck because I cannot play according to the rules, so I'm out. The third type of card are these yellow cards, and these yellow cards are going to come in 2 varieties. There's going to be ones that you play face down in front of you. So this is distraction. Oh, look, a cute little doggy. As we often do in arguments, we try to distract other people, perhaps. And this card you play face down in front of you, and when it's triggered, you're going to flip it over. So you do want to remember what exactly this card says. But this one in particular says that the next green card is ignored. So the next time someone plays a green card, you flip this card over and you say, nope, it's ignored. The other kind of yellow card are ones that are going to be played face up, that everyone can see, that is going to have an effect for everyone at the table, such as passive, which means no one can play another yellow card until this particular card is disarmed. And that's the gist of the game. Players go round and round playing cards, beginning their turn by drawing a card, as I mentioned, and the last player left alive is the winner. As you can see on the front of the box here, the rounds last 5 to 10 minutes. There are some variants that allow you to play shorter rounds by everyone starting with 3 cards in their hand, or a little bit longer if you'd like, by everyone starting with 7 cards in their hand. I do want to point out also that this is for ages 14 and up. We found that to be a little high. We were able to play with our 9-year-old, and he was able to understand it. However, the reason for maybe the age range is that there is maybe some language on some of these cards that's maybe not so suitable for younger kids. The graphic artwork is maybe a little questionable as well. It's not anything too extreme, but just something to note that this is maybe suited for teenagers and up. And that's the reason for the ages 14 and up there. So that is I'm right, you're wrong. Let's go back up top and we'll share our thoughts on this one. All right, we're back, and now we're going to share our thoughts as a gamer and a non-gamer on what we thought about I'm right, you're wrong. So Sam, first impressions of this game, what'd you think?
I wasn't sure about a game that consisted of argument, as I'm non-confrontational. But it was it's very easy setup. It's a card game. Our 9-year-old played with us, and he seemed to really enjoy it, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It is just a simple little card game, and in that deck of cards, there's only, 3 different types of cards, yellow, red, green, and each of those do certain things. But surprisingly, I felt that this game definitely had a little more strategy going into it than what I would have thought initially. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. At first, I was like, okay, so we're just going to lay cards down and see what happens. But there is strategy to it.
Yeah. In fact, this game is self-described as a light strategy game, and I think that's perfect for it because there are several times when you are deciding, do I want to play this green card now that might do me really good, but I'm only stuck with red cards, which are really going to hurt me, or should I maybe get rid of one of these bad cards now while I still have some good cards? There were several times where you were faced with choices like that.
Yeah, I thought it was really good for our 9-year-old who's just now starting to understand strategy. Our 7-year-old wanted to play, but I do think you need to have a little bit more reading ability.
Yeah.
She's right there, and definitely the color-coded cards. She could play, but she just can't quite read and not that fast to be able to play. But it really was perfect for our 9-year-old and kind of teaching him the strategy aspects of games.
He actually won a couple of games. So, yeah. I mean, it worked great for him. Now, as I mentioned in the rules overview portion, I want to say it again here, and just in case you missed that, this game is marketed ages 14 and up. And there are maybe just a few questionable things as far as the artwork or maybe the language on some of the cards. Not anything too extreme.
But just know before you.
But just know before you play with a younger kid that is there on it. Now, Sam, let's talk about the fun factor with this game. What were your thoughts as far as how fun this game is?
I thought it was a lot of fun. It's very... it's quick, and you have to, choose who are you going to take cards from, who are you going to, lack of a better word, screw over a little bit.
Take that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is a lot of fun. It's not just laying cards down. It's not Uno. It's, more competitive than that.
Yeah, I thought, and I'm glad you used that word there because that was exactly what I was thinking. It is competitive, and I feel like that goes along with the theme. You're having an argument, and who hasn't been in a heated argument and felt like I have to win this argument before? I mean, the game is called I'm Right, You're Wrong, after all. And there is that surprising competitiveness with it as far as those cards go and knowing who you're going to attack and who maybe you have to help out every now and then because a lot of these cards are not great for you cards. Yeah. In fact, the rules even say that you will likely find yourself with a handful of cards that don't do any favors for you, and it's about figuring out what's the least of all the evils as it relates to you. So I thought that was an interesting twist. What did you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with that as well.
Yeah. And complicated-wise, the rule set here, it's not complicated. You can, have this game explained to you in a couple of minutes, pick up the cards, read it, and understand, okay, I'm ready to go. Were there ever any moments, Sam, when you were playing this where you really felt like, I don't really know what I'm doing here, can you help me? Or was this pretty straightforward?
No, maybe the first round of the first game just as you're kind of getting used to it, but no, it was a very quick, and our son got it really quickly as well.
Yeah. And turns are really pretty fast in this
Yeah.
game. And I mean, you're drawing a card if you remember, and if you forget, the rules even say, sorry, you missed out on your card.
Yeah.
But draw a card, play a card, and that's really it. You play one and only one card. So this game does not have the fiddliness or the complicated nature that maybe some of these card games can have, but it's still surprisingly got that strategic depth to it, the fun factors there. I thought I'm Right, You're Wrong was a pretty fantastic little game.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it was great. I like how quick it was, pretty easy to understand. You can play with multiple ages depending on, what you're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was a good game for gamers and non-gamers.
And then I think, and we already touched on this a little bit, but for me, maybe the thing that just kind of takes this game to the next notch is the fact that it ties so well into the theme. I thought that was a really cool thing. It's a theme that I've not really seen done very much before, of having an argument, needing to be the person to have the last word, and that not all the cards are about just attack, 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 attack. A lot of them are about, well, I'll take accountability, I'll be responsible, or I'll empathize with you, which, as a therapist, I think that's pretty cool that that's in this game. But I think that they nailed the theme, and it's just a really kind of cool, interesting, fun little game. And it's such a small package, and rounds take 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, that's not long at all. So,
Yep.
One that you would recommend playing with a non-gamer?
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. That is I'm Right, You're Wrong from Jab Publishing.
Make sure to like and subscribe and push that bell button so you get notifications of all our new content. And if you want us to review your game, look in the description below for our website and fill out a form.
All right, I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, where we try to bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. We'll catch you later.